Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Ayanda, and morning to all the viewers. Thanks for the opportunity. It's wonderful to have you here.
Let's talk a little bit about the structured platform that we're seeing today, where you are bringing together great thinkers with those who are able to finance and making sure that you, in using your own words, create an ecosystem for innovation in the country that is conducive towards making sure that some of the technologies that are thought of become commercial and have that commercial value. Speak to us about the importance of such an event.
Well, I'm sure if you've spoken to some of our officials in the department, you'll find there's a lot of excitement about today's event because we're beginning to see things come together in a very nice way. What you've had in the past is universities have researchers, very bright, doing fantastic work. They have innovative ideas which lead to product, but they have to go outside South Africa in order to get support, particularly investment for their innovation. We had a poor attention to opportunities in public institutions. We didn't have an agency that could fund new innovation. We now have the Technology Innovation Agency. We have our National Intellectual Property Management Office, which teaches people about the laws around patenting and supports universities through the creation of offices of technology transfer in universities, which sit there and actually monitor the various research and the needs of researchers, both for financial and legal support in getting their products to the intellectual space, so to the commercial space. So what's happened is we've closed somewhat that valley of death where ideas were getting lost and are beginning to build a seamless system for innovation in South Africa.
You've spoken to us about the number of stakeholders that are linked to the agencies you just spoke about now, and yet we are still hearing the likes of Paseka, who came up with that wonderful valve that helps with water retention, complaining about issues of funding. Is the information trickling down as to where young people with great ideas can go to receive help?
Well, one of the reasons for having this Innovation Bridge event is to begin to address this issue of communication. We have a mandate to promote public understanding of science as a department, but I think all of us need to do much more. And events such as this begin then to put Paseka in touch with potential funders, have them look at what he's doing. I think, in fact, the Department of Water should be interested in his particular innovation, because water saving is a huge issue in our country. But we're putting together the private sector, public sector, venture capitalists. Our problem in South Africa, they're not very hungry, they're a bit risk averse. The financiers, we've got to really enthuse them about the work that we're doing. A city like Boston in the United States has thousands of spin-off companies from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So, you know, technology innovation can actually create new industries, jobs, and help the economy to grow.
Indeed, and just talking about that risk aversion, Paseka also lamenting the fact that perhaps some funders who do give money give for a certain milestone and will give you a little bit of money up until this point and won't fund the whole project. But perhaps that's a discussion for another time, because we are extremely pressed for time. I wanted to speak to you about policies in the country and whether or not they are conducive towards an environment that will contribute to innovation. And that's because in 2008, the SA Innovation Survey rated us quite highly in terms of innovation and in terms of novelty of our technologies. But is there a climate among the lawmakers to make sure that it's conducive towards making these technologies viable?
Well, in 2008, Parliament passed an act to create the Technology Innovation Agency, and it has various facets within it. It has a youth innovation fund, for example, and young persons such as the one you spoke of wouldn't be here if it were not for that funding from TIA. So Parliament did its job, government supported the agency, but we still complain there's too little going to research and development in South Africa. We need much better funding. We need to get to that 1% of GDP, and then we must get beyond it. if we want to be globally competitive. But we have made a start, and I think what we see here shows that actually there is promise. Let's invest more and we will grow.
Indeed, I couldn't agree with you more. A lot of promise, and I myself have walked through some of the aisles. In fact, Dan, I can attest to the fact that there's a lot of industries represented here. So technology is not just the cell phone in your hand. I tell you, it reaches far and wide. And coming from the township, I can tell you that there are some tremendous ideas there as well. So it would be great for those youngsters to also be exposed to something like this. Minister Naledi Pandor, my thanks to you. A quick ad break. Morning Live continues after this. Stay right where you are.